Ahoy everybody! Today we're going to do some math, and it's my favorite type of math. It's math that makes sense, and you can't argue with math. And today we're going to talk about asymptotes. That's right, asymptotes. And if you don't know what an asymptote is, it's probably because you haven't taken geometry in a little bit. So an asymptote, no, it doesn't have to do with what you're thinking about. An asymptote is a very simple concept that you probably will remember. Let's say that you have a graph, and on that graph you have a curve. Maybe it's another curve that goes this way and another curve that does that. But an asymptote is the distance between that curve and the line at which it approaches but it never reaches. It's very similar to a limit, right? Where let's say that you have this curve and it goes close, 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 but it's never going to reach it. And in reality, if we were to take this and zoom it in, think of it as though you have where you want to go. Like let's say that this is becoming a successfully paid speaker, getting your big keynotes and speaking around the world. This is what you want. This is what you know you need to get to. And here's your curve, okay? Let's say you start way over here and you start to learn, and then maybe you start to earn, and then you get better, and then you get better, and then you get a paid speaking gig, and then you get another one, and you get closer and 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 closer. But if you look here and we zoom that in, you're still far. You will never ever reach that pinnacle. And when you start to realize this, not just for speaking, but for your goals and what you want to do, you start to really understand mastery. And I was on a phone conversation with somebody today, two people actually, and we were talking about the speaking business. And I was more listening than I was speaking. And it made me realize, it just made me click, that whatever it is that you're trying to do, the gap between where you want to go and where you are, and what you're doing to get there, that's the asymptote. So let's look at what this actually looks like. This is probably a better drawing here. So an asymptote, you have that curve, and it's the distance between that curve and it approaching that line, okay? There are horizontal asymptotes, there's vertical asymptotes, and there's oblique asymptotes. And the idea here is that if you get crazy, you look at all these different types of graphs, and when I'm looking at that, it makes me think of like all of you out there and all the different things that you're trying to do, and you're trying to get to that line. You're trying to get to the funding. You're trying to get to the client. You're trying to get there. Look at that. Which graph is you? You're one of these things, right? So, all right, Ryan, how does this have to do with an asymptote and my ability to achieve the success that I want? An asymptote is this distance. And as you're starting off, let's say you're down here at this point, this is a huge distance. This is a big distance of your learning. And then as you gain the skills, as you take courses, as you read books, like my book that's coming out I wrote with Leonard Kim called Ditch the Act, that I hope get you a little bit closer. And then you get a college degree, and then you get experience, and you get closer and closer and closer. But as you approach this limit, this line of getting that $50,000 keynote, or getting paid like Josh Linkner on the big stages and getting booked over 100 times per year, or whoever it is that you admire, that you think that they're setting the bar. They're literally over here. You're trying to get closer and closer and closer. But once you realize that you don't ever hit this, because this is a moving target. This ultimate, this idealistic vision, this like what you think you want to be and what it can be, you're never going to get to there. And once you understand that, you can start to enjoy the process of getting there. So here's one take on it. I'm going to talk about three things today. Mastery is always learning more. Mastery is to always learn more. Okay, and if you think about this, this is an approach that will help keep you sane as you work through what you're trying to work through. I'm working towards becoming a professional speaker, and I get paid to speak. So sure, I'm a professional speaker. Am I getting the fees and the rates that I want? No. Am I approaching closer to that goal? Yes. But if I, for 1 second, thought that I was as good of a speaker as I can be, then I would be completely wrong. If I thought that I didn't need to work on my vocal variety, I'd be wrong. In fact, I'm hiring a voice coach because I lost my voice in Haiti after giving 2 keynotes. And it made me realize I don't have as good of control, taking it from taking it from the gut instead of being all raspy up here. So there's things that I'm not only working on, but I'm excited to work on. And if you start to think about mastery, right? If you're going to get paid the big keynotes, if you're going to land the big clients, you have to truly become a master at what you're doing. But your journey to mastery is an asymptote. It will continually feel like you're getting closer and closer, but you won't actually get there. And that is where the magic is. That's where the excitement is. So here's another concept. The concept is to be a better blank more often. Okay? Some of my favorite advice is hiding in plain sight. And this is as plain sight as it gets. Here we go. To be a better speaker, speak more often. To be a better writer, write more often. To be a better sailor, which I'm working on, sail more often. And to be a better listener, listen more often. This is the type of advice that I love to give because it's easy to deliver, but it's hard to accept. And if somebody asks me, Ryan, how can I get better on video? I will tell them to get better at being on video, be on video more often. It's a simple equation that you need to ask yourself. What do you want to become better at? What do you want to change this gap in between where you are now and where you want to go? This is getting better. And in order to move from that side to this side, you simply have to do that thing more. I had somebody that came up to me and said, how could you give that long of a talk and not have it memorized? They thought that I just gave it off the cuff. They don't realize that I've been working on my 313 keynote for years. I've given it hundreds of times, and each time I evaluate, I try to get better at it and better at it. And how do I do that? I keep giving it over and over. So if you're frustrated and you want to get better at doing something, stop looking for the hack and actually just do that one thing more. It's simple, it's empowering, it's going to help you to close the asymptote, because the asymptote is your key to success. Now here's my third piece of wisdom today. This is the magic pill. Now Dan of DNA Design will say there is no magic pill. I've got a magic pill for you. The magic pill is this: time plus effort times time, that's a good ringer, times time equals success. I want you to own the asymptote. Own the asymptote, okay? Because if you want to get from over here and you want to get to this magic spot, whether it's money, whether it's giving back, whether it's successfully fundraising, whether it's successfully launching your nonprofit, whatever that may be, the trick is that everybody's looking for how to get better. Everybody's looking for the courses. By the way, I've got courses on personal branding. You can check them out at grow.influencetree.com. Side note, right? They can help you grow. But the idea here is that if you invest the time and you actually put in the work and you multiply that by time, it will help you to get success. And if you look at this little chart here, it doesn't start. Look at the success part. It's raggedy. It's up and down. It's your own individual chart. And what it looks like is this. And that is how you get closer and closer to the asymptote, but you will not reach the asymptote. And that is what is empowering. That is what is exciting. So what did we learn today? We learned some mathematics. You learned about an asymptote. And an asymptote is the distance between a curve and a line that it never connects with. And your goal, your success, what you want to be, is that curve. Is the curve as it tries to approach the line. But if you realize it's not going to hit the line, and you realize that you constantly have to learn, because mastery is to always learn more, and if you learn by doing things more. If you want to be better at something, you do it more often. Then you use this equation. Over time, you put in effort and you multiply that by time, and that will create success. And so it's right there. I tell people all the time, successful people are not doing what other people cannot do. Successful people are doing what everyone else can do, but not everyone does. And if you are going to do what you want to do, it's also important that you're doing it in a way that is true and authentic to yourself. And a lot of times, what will happen is that you'll look at somebody like Gary Vee, you'll look at somebody like Seth Godin, you'll look at somebody like Tim Ferriss, and you'll be like, these guys are at the line. These guys they've figured it out. They have the following, they have the money, they have the gigs, they have all this stuff. But that's not you. You are you. And the best way to differentiate yourself is to be you. What do you want to be better at? Find that out, own that, and then own your difference and put in the time and effort to get to where you want to go. Now, if you do want to learn how to get to where you want to go by being yourself and ditching the act in the process, I have to let you know that my book is actually for pre-order right now on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and I learned the other day that it's also available at Target. So, if you want some simple advice that's hiding in plain sight, I'd love for you to buy my book. Now, you can also connect with me because I am getting better at what I'm doing, and I'm practicing it, and I'm learning, and I'm always enjoying meeting new people. So the best way to contact me is to find me on Twitter. Now, I'm on the other platforms, but Twitter is where I'm most engaged. So whatever platform you're seeing this on, thank you. But at the same time, if you want to interact and get with me and have some dialogue, I would love to know about what your asymptote is and what is stopping you from getting there. And I bet you that a very simple piece of advice, something like this, could help move the needle. To be a better blank, blank more often. All right, hopefully that was fun math. This is where math is fun because you can't refute math. And you can't refute that if you want to go from here to here, you got to go along the way. But the asymptote, you have to own the asymptote because you're never going to hit that line. The line's going to keep moving. And when you realize that, it's exciting because you can chase after your dreams, chase after what you want, and you can do it feeling good about being yourself the whole time. That's all I got for you.